Okay, good afternoon again. Hey, now we're going to talk a little bit more about this bark grafting of larger native persimmon seedlings. And I wanted to stop here first to show this is another good example of a pasture that, because wildlife basically took the seeds, persimmon seeds from the native persimmon mother trees, you might say, and just scattered them, planted them in an abandoned pasture. In years past, this would have been bush hog. Since we've been here the last 2 years, we haven't. And you can see how much those persimmon trees have grown. In fact, all these have been grafted to improve varieties, and some of them are bearing. So this illustrates a good spot where another landowner might be able to take advantage of existing native persimmon trees that are already there and use this grafting method. But now we're going to look at one particularly, a specific tree that I grafted this year. Remember, this is September of 2020, and so in May I used the arrowhead bark grafting technique with this scion, which obviously was much smaller. You can get an idea how small it was by the top part here. And this is the growth that's occurred, at least 2 feet of growth that's occurred since I did the grafting in May. This is a variety, it's called Early Jewel. I've never had this one before, but I'm interested in having some fruit early and then mid-season and late, so I'm interested to see how well it works here. So I'm going to remove the plastic. This is all it is a sandwich bag, and which you slip on when you're done. So we're going in reverse of the way I actually grafted this tree. But this is the last thing you put on, which helps keep the moisture in and keep the tissue from drying out, which is another similar thing that the aluminum foil accomplishes. So let's take the aluminum foil off. Remember, this has been here since May. And now you're down to the grafting tape that I used, and let's remove it. This is supposed to be able to decompose, but I'll take it away with the rest of the material. And now, can you come from this angle, please? Now you can see that despite the whole grafting technique with the bark technique is you just make a slit in the bark of the existing seedling, split it, and basically place a very small scion in there. Try to match up the cambium of the bark under the bark of the seedling, the rootstock, to the cuts you made on the scion, which exposes that cambium, and then wrap it correctly. And that's why you use all these different paraphernalia to help you be successful. But this has been a very successful graft, and already has started to join way beyond the initial area that I grafted. So this is about an inch tree, inch in diameter, and remember that the one we looked at earlier was about 2.5 inches. So that's the range I think that makes the most sense, and I think this is an example, and this is a fairly average example of the growth that I got from anything from 1 to 3 inches in diameter. All the energy and the nutrients coming up from this extensive root system on a tree this size or bigger really pumps the growth and into the new scion if you make a good connection, and this was a very good connection.